Alexandros, thank you for joining us. Why don't you take that stage so people can see you?
Thank you.
Alexandros, you're an owner of 6 hotels, owner and operator of 6 hotels, family business. You also have a management company. And in the spare time, you're president, the youngest president ever of the chamber.
I'm getting a bit older now.
How do you do all this?
Ask my wife.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's obviously challenging times we had over the past 2 years. And I think it's safe to say, especially after the presentation we saw, that it's challenging times ahead. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, just first, quickly tell us about the chamber. You've got 10,000 members. It's a necessity, isn't it? You have to join the chamber if you have a hotel in Greece. So tell us quickly about the chamber.
The Chamber of Hotels is part of the public sector, although it is run by elected hoteliers. I have the honor, and I had the pleasure and the challenge of running the chamber through the COVID period over the past 4 years, and I just started my second term of another 4 years. So we are here to help our members. We are giving out the star system in Greece as well. So this is actually why you have to go through the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels, and we try to do a lot in terms of helping our members. We have to bear in mind that the average Greek hotel is 42 rooms, so it's small, very small SMEs that don't necessarily have the access to information and to things going on the market. So we are here to act as a bridge and help them go through the very abrupt changes that happen in our market over the past few years, and I expect them to continue over the next few years as well.
Okay, so with COVID, just reflecting on it, what sort of leadership position did you take during that period?
Well, COVID was obviously not what we signed up for when running for the chamber. I can remember the first days in March where we actually realized that it was coming. Up until then, it was just something we saw on TV on another continent, and then we had to take serious decisions. And I remember myself being very perplexed about telling the central government to close down all hotels. This is not something, it looks normal now when you look back, but at that time it's something that has never happened through history. So I think that the main thing was to react quickly after the dust settled down a bit and we saw where we were heading. And at that time I think that we all worked together with the government and other institutions in Greece, and we did a pretty good job, I think, because we had the possibility to act fast, to react, and we actually, I can tell you, within 24 hours, where the protocols were out by the government for hotels, we had tailor-made protocols for all 10,000 hotels in Greece online. This was a huge success for us, and this helped a lot the hoteliers not to have to go through all the new laws, and not only at the beginning, but as they were evolving through time, because we all went through this and we know how much evolution there was. So it was a big work for us, but I think it went well.
Mm. And I suppose you had that communication as well with all the members, so you could quickly, relay the strategy.
Yes, we had a lot of. We usually have through HOTREC, which is the European Umbrella Association for Hotels and Restaurants of Europe, which does represent 2 million companies in Europe and about 12 million workers. We usually have bi-monthly meetings at the ExCom. These became weekly. So we exchange with all other Europeans every week to see best practices, to see how everybody would react. And there as well, we saw that Greece acted, I would say, on the forefront of things. And this was a very good thing. In parallel with the very good governmental decisions that were taken globally towards the COVID situation. So I think that mainly what we take away from COVID as a country and as a sector is that we demonstrated, and this is not only Greece, but we demonstrated our ability to react and to adapt. And adapt, let's be clear, to scenarios that were written nowhere.
Yeah.
There was nothing on books to say, what do you do if planes stop flying all over the world? What do you do when you close down all hotels in the country? These were first-time scenarios for everybody. But I think, looking back, and in combination, of course, with the market reacting as well and showing that people rebound, people want to travel. If we go back at the beginning of COVID, we were discussing different extreme scenarios. What will be tomorrow? Will people travel again? Will planes leave? Will we have mass tourism or not? And all these were scenarios we couldn't really answer. But it turns out that people need to travel. We had a year that demonstrated this in numbers. And I think this builds the confidence as well for investors around tourism.
So we just heard from Joanne from the EIU talking about the enormous challenges we face in the next 2 years. What are the challenges that your members are approaching you and saying, we need assistance with? What is it their main challenge is at the moment?
Well, I think that we have to be pragmatic about this. I don't think that we are looking at extreme scenarios in terms of consumer behavior. Again, looking back, we didn't know what to expect in the post-COVID period. But today we see that clients are still clients. People will regroup to travel together. We see trends, but we see trends that were already existing. So actually, COVID acted as an accelerator to all these trends. We all had nice to have scenarios, 5, 10, 15 years in sustainability transition and so on. But now this becomes a necessity. This is something you have to go through within the next 6, 7 years. So these are things where the Greek hoteliers turn to the chamber and they need guidance. And this we're working a lot on.
So give us an example of some of the things you're doing on the ESG front.
For instance, if you look at technology, we are a sector where the penetration of technology, if you go beyond the simple having a site, the penetration of technology is still quite low. So we have invested a lot in the past 3 years in an accelerator we have set up in Greece. I'm happy to say we were just elected as the best startup accelerator in Southern Europe. We do a lot of work on that, and this is a dual mission. First of all, give a chance to creative young people who have ideas, give them a platform on which to evolve. And secondly, educate hoteliers as well, because this is part of our mandate.
Because there is that disconnect, isn't there, in the industry between the brands, the operators, and startups?
Yes, of course. It's very obvious for big brands. They do a lot of work as well, but this cannot reach the average small family hotel of 42 rooms.
Sure.
But if you present the solutions, the technological solutions to them, you see that they're eager to resolve problems, because startups are here to give an outer look and resolve problems that are existing.
So what's an example of an interesting startup you've seen recently?
We just started our 5th cycle now. We have very interesting startups that are very diverse. At the beginning, all startups were kind of all going towards services and things like that. But now we have a very well-established startup for lost and found, which is a headache for hotels, small or big. We have a very specialized startup called Woof Together, has already went through acceleration with us, that specializes in people traveling with pets. So we have a lot of niche startups, and this is a thing for the future as well. You have to invest in niche markets. You have to look at a special group of people. We have a very interesting startup for disabled people who do beginning to end traveling for disabled people. So all these are markets that you need to look at exclusively. You need to deep dive into these markets. But the other side of the coin is that you have guaranteed clients. And these are big markets. They might look like niche markets, but if you take them at a European or a global level, it's huge markets.
Yeah. I understand. So these startups then are, what is their sort of award then? Do they get to accelerate their startup within
within
a selection
Greece,
of hotels?
we do a lot of B2B, so they meet a lot of hoteliers, they travel all around Greece. And now we're starting a program where they travel all around Europe as well. So we exchange startups with other countries, which is a very interesting new thing that we're going to do. They get a money prize, obviously, as well. They have the right to use the offices we provide to them. So there's a lot of things going on. But mainly what is for them, what is apart from the mentoring and the very professional people we call upon to help them, it's the fact that they get a lot of connections. They speak to hoteliers with which it would take them years to connect.
Yeah. No, that's true. So we heard from Panos, the GM of the hotel here, about experiences and the culinary side. Tell us a little bit what you're doing with the whole supply chain challenges that we just heard from Joanne. Mm-hmm. What are you doing with the whole supply chain and food and beverage?
Well, the Greek Chamber of Hotels in 2012 launched a big project called Greek Breakfast. It is a breakfast. It is built around breakfast because of 10,000 out of 10,000 Greek hotels, half of them don't actually have restaurants, so they only limit themselves to breakfast. This is why breakfast was chosen. So what we did by creating Greek breakfast is not an antagonism to continental breakfast or English breakfast. It's a product that is based on local deals between agricultures and producers and hoteliers. And we have 42 of them all around Greece, where basically what we do is that we act as a platform where producers and hoteliers sit at the same table and find ways to absorb local production. This is a very interesting project. This came before the European project of Farm to Fork. So it was kind of a predecessor. Obviously, Farm to Fork was going to happen anyway. But it's a very interesting project. We have you have to be certified in order to enter. Today we have a list of 1,250 hotels that are certified. If you look at 4 and 5 stars, about 40% of 4 and 5 star hotels are certified in the Greek breakfast. The interesting thing is that if you go to smaller category hotels, 3 stars and down, most of them have Greek breakfast by definition. The grandma is in the kitchen making pies, but they don't feel the need to go to the star system and get certified for this. But we're going to start now. Obviously, during the COVID period, it was dormant. But we're going to do a lot of work now to have the smaller hotels step in as well, in order to certify and use this as a marketing tool as well.
Yeah, because I can only imagine that the local produce must be around 80% for the Greek hotels.
We did a study on all Greek hotels, not only a Greek breakfast certified hotel, and this is a very interesting number. Out of a sample of 800 hotels, and this is analyzed by category, 88% of products bought by Greek hotels for food and beverage are bought nationally. Of that, 35% is local within the same prefecture. So this is why I'm telling you, most of the hotels do it. They don't feel the need to be certified for it.
I think there is an opportunity there also for the storytelling to take place and the marketing to take place.
Obviously, and this is something we need to. This is why we want more hotels to step in and be certified in order to come out with a nice storytelling about it, because you have it anyway, but you need to put it forward.
Yeah. Okay, so our time's up, but one last question: what are you seeing right now? What's your big challenge? What's the big issue going forward?
Previous presentation aside, I think that we need to look at the future with the ability to react. Like I said, it's something that we have proved over the past 2 years that we have the ability to react and adapt. Things will change faster, cycles will be stronger and closer to each other. So we cannot expect the next years to be like the previous years. You cannot build one hotel and say this hotel will go on for the next 20 years as is, whatever hotel it is, but this is my model and this will take me through the next 20, 30 years. This is what happened in the last 20, 30 years, but it's not, it will need to be fine-tuned every year. You will need to look at new trends. You will have cycles, like it was said in the previous presentation, but you cannot stop at these cycles. We need to keep what we said as an answer to what I said as an answer to your first question. The takeaways from COVID are the fact that we can adapt and the fact that people will want to travel. Yeah. So we need to adapt to this, and this will take us through the future, but having the knowledge and the technology to do so. So adapt, look at niche markets, and find the comfort zone also for investors, combining the local knowledge, the international brands, and we are lucky enough to be in a country where we can combine all this and have the possibilities to grow. Greece still has a lot of growth ahead.
And staffing must be one of the main issues.
Staffing is a worldwide issue. Yeah. We talk about it.
And I only mention that because we've got our next session is on staffing and human resources. So
yes. So just a quick word on staffing without stepping into the next panel, but it is a global problem. We collaborated with the ministry last year, and we had a very big survey in all hotels, and we quantified this at about 25% of staff missing last year. We expect this to be at least the same this year. We're running the study as we speak. I think there's a lot of, first of all, people went away from services. And it's absolutely logical, because when you have 2 years in a row where there is huge uncertainty, will hotels open? Will hotels reopen? Will winter hotel open? Will summer hotels open? It's logical that people are driven away. Other sectors had growth at the same time, so they absorbed. And then if you go into the qualitative side, we have some work to do as well as hoteliers. We need to redefine, and this has to be done in collaboration with local governments. Laws around labor were made 20, 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, yeah. Laws need to change as well. We have a very big dialogue at the European level with the unions, and we need to rethink all of this. People now, the people that used to work in the hospitality now want to live on weekends, now don't want to have night shifts. So all this we need to rethink, but I'm sure that having proven the ability to adapt, I'm sure we'll manage that.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me on stage, and congratulate or good luck with the elections coming up. Is that right?
Thank you. Yes.
We hope you get that position as well. Is that with
Hotrec?
With Hotrec,
next
okay.
week, yes. Thank you very much.
Next week. So, can everybody just show their appreciation to Alexandros? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.